Greetings, everyone. It's time for us to finally explore past Mul Caverns. And as we head up this way, we see this very ominous-looking dome. This dome is where the final part of the game takes place. However, ignoring that random battle that happened, we're also going to ignore that dome because we have a bunch of other things we need to do first. Such as coming over here for a fishing spot. This fishing location actually has two things that we want from it. Let's actually equip the fishing rod, cast out our line, and the first thing we want is right over here. This shark. There we go. Thank you for biting, shark. Now let's just reel him in. Reel him in. Why are you not flipping my controls on me? I'm sorry, sharks are supposed to flip controls on you constantly. That's what's supposed to make them difficult. But you know what? Whatever. For our efforts, we get ourselves a moonstone. And now it's time for us to cast out again. And let's see if we can catch something. The something we want, though, is actually off screen. So we need to let the lure go down there a little bit, and this might take a few attempts, but once the lure's down there we go. Once you get the lure down there, just start reeling it in slowly with, on and off, and you should be able to catch this creature, which you are also supposed to flip the controls. What the heck is going on? Oh well, we caught ourselves a mermaid that kind of looks like it has an octopus tail. Ow! Why? I was just minding my own business. Suddenly, someone is yanking my hair. My father was right about land dwellers. Huh. Well, we caught her and she gives us a golden dragon scale, which I think kind of implies that those dragon scales are actually mermaid scales. Kind of neat. We won't be dealing with the scales this episode, but hopefully within the next 2 episodes, we should be able to deal with them. But down in this secret area south of the dome, we have ourselves a Paro that wants to play hide and seek. Be careful as you are playing hide and seek with this Paro, however. If you accidentally use your rocket boots and burn the Paro, it is going to run away and you have to leave the area and try to catch the Paro again. However, just like before, it's effectively a go left and right. Trying to remember. There you are, right behind here. And then, with that last one, we got ourselves a Paro. They taste delicious. And it is back at the coop in Pancello. And with that, that was our final Paro. Later on, I will show what our reward is. However, while I avoid this encounter, and hopefully all other encounters, we're going to make our way up north here to this mysterious crag, which, as you can see, has some bug nests. We don't care about the first 2 bug nests, however. The one we want is this final 3rd bug nest. I'm just going to charge this up for no particular reason other than I know exactly what's coming up. And what's coming up is me shooting myself in the face, apparently. Oh, great. No stamina. No stamina is perfect right now. I could really go for some stamina, please. Hey, got that one. I'll take that. Alright, I think we'll be fine with these ones. I don't think they are going to respawn when we come back up here. Instead, we want to use this guy because, well, we didn't get the chain, but you can use the explodey ones to break these bricks for you, which is kind of neat. And also part of this next puzzle. So, there's a moonstone over there. Unfortunately, we are not able to fit in there to get it. We need to coax a bug out to, well, push it for us like we did back in the caverns themselves. However, these explodey bugs are incapable of doing that, unfortunately. Thankfully, even though they're incapable of doing that for us, they are still useful. They can clear some of this rubble for us. But the ones we really want are to clear these specific ones. I don't know why, by the way, these explodey bugs are not allowed to, go away. Why they're not allowed to actually, you know, help us by pushing that moonstone, while, you know, some of the others can, but, yeah, I'm not going to question it. Alright, so stand up here, and there we go. We got one of them to come around in the correct direction. Really, all you need to do is get one of those guys to spawn up top. It actually does not matter if you break too many of these blocks. In addition, these are brown ones. They aren't going to jump at me. Instead, they're just going to be nice, walk on over, and push that moonstone towards us. And there is one other gem that we want to collect over here in the left side of this cave. In addition, there we go. Oh, I thought it was going to change in time. We have more bugs. And of course, they're flying bugs, which I do not like. Ow, ow, ow. Alright, we have lost almost all of our health to like 3 bugs. There, go away. I hate the bugs. I hate the bugs. If it wasn't apparent, I am not good at dealing with the bugs. There, get you out of here. Unfortunately, that awakes that one up there. Hey, that blind fire worked. I mean, sure, it was spread fire, but it's still kind of it's still a form of blind fire. But head on up here, deal with that last one, forgetting that I'm in spread shot mode. Ow, ow, ow. You know what? Just give me this. Yeah, that's right. Bounce off of me while I'm in a cutscene and invincible. Alright, we want to get out of here. Oh, we really want to get out of here. Alright, let's get some food. And then escape. Thankfully, I think this is the last time we deal with bugs outside of random encounters in this area. One thing to note with random encounters in this area, however, if you remember, I mentioned that there would be an area that you could go ahead and collect the arbor meat. That's the weird plant boar that we encountered when we dealt with the orange tree back in Cosette. Well, that's not going to work. Whatever. Alright, put that there. That'll not actually help us a lot. Especially if I do that. Great. Anyway, as I've been trying to say, in this area, random encounters have a chance to have the arbor. That can be useful if you ended up using the meat from the orange tree earlier. You know what? Fine. I'll take it. I'll take 1 damage. If it means I get out of here. Unfortunately, these are just a little bit too narrow for me to jump and try to use my rocket boots to fly over. It's almost as though the game knew that you were going to have rocket boots at this point, so it was designed around that. But thankfully, once you actually get out, it's pretty peaceful. All the ones that you left alive from the previous encounter have all disappeared. I'm going to just assume they've escaped. Escaped into the random encounters. But let's head on over here to Arentia. I think is how you pronounce that. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And we want to head up here, though. If you want some honey drops, you can break the pots in that room down there, but we don't really need them. We want to talk to these people. Ara, awful strange to see wingless one around these parts. Merly know not if you brave or foolish. Which? I'd say, honestly, we're both, so let's go with foolish. You realize stupidity. Merly give credit. Merly suggests you turn back. Anything else, Merly? Climb no good. Harpy make cliffs unclimbable. Keep outsiders out. Yeah, so that's basically telling you you're not going to be able to climb up there if for some reason you thought you could. Merly get in big trouble for this. Merly help, but Merly want beautiful sparkly. Most beautiful sparkly humans have. Find it, and Merly help you reach top. Well, we don't have anything for you right now, Merly, but let's talk to Alco, apparently. Hello. Alco, strong harpy. Maybe strongest harpy? See collection of scythes. You impress? One scythe from tusk of wild boar. Another from pincer of thorniad. Yet another from horn of scary firefish. Alco wish to make scythe from every deadly creature. That's neat. What about this rock? That strange rock Alco find. Catch attention of Alco when fly. You want? Alco trade for something cool. I've got this broken Wendigo claw. That is big metallium claw. Alco want. And if you heard, Alco's already taken it out of our inventory. Trade. And we get ourselves Dream Ore. Hehe, Alco make cool weapon from this. So if you remember, back in Dea, the blacksmith actually had another piece of this Dream Ore, and he said that he would make an ultimate weapon out of it for anyone who could bring him the second piece. So we're going to try to make our way over to Dea, but first we have to make a pit stop in this unknown area. This area has a teleporter to Patera? I'm sure that has a reference to something, but I don't know what it is offhand. Now, the key thing with here is some of these batteries are dead, and we need to find 3 working batteries. So, let's go ahead and take this one that we know is good, have it fall down because I pushed it slightly, but get it and toss it over. I want you in the third one. Yeah, you know what, we'll just push you in. Once you put it into one of them, it's locked, which is, again, trying to show that you need 3 good batteries. Now, thankfully, the good batteries always spawn mostly in the same area. The second battery is going to be in that crate, but it could be either of the 2 batteries that come out of that crate. Either the first one or the second. Is it the second? It is the second. I just want to make sure that the one that I thought it was going to be didn't somehow get blown away. Now, let's go ahead and get the last one, which, as you might be able to guess, is going to be the last one in that last crate. Just because the game wants it to be the absolute last one you would normally try. But thankfully, I know for this one. And if we climb all the way up here, we manage to not get knocked off the ladder when the cutscene happens. Now let's see where this teleporter leads us to. And we got shocked and fell over. But we're in a cave with a computer. This computer is apparently Fran's research logs, which means another entry off of Snooper. When prospectors discovered this ancient teleporter underground, I knew this is where I should build my lab. I wanted to minimize disturbances to the original teleportation device as much as possible so that I could glean as much as I can from it. Plus, choosing this site let me have a lakeside view. Win-win! The history of teleportation has been hectic, to say the least. Until about 2 decades ago, it was official Peace Minister policy to dismantle and destroy any teleporters they found. Luckily, the Peace Ministers of today have become more reasonable. Rather than resistance, which I expected, I received support and encouragement. Should I be suspicious? Perhaps. I'm far too excited, however. With the official permissions in place, I began my research in earnest. Next entry. In excavating and opening the model teleporter for study, I was greeted with a significant finding. Hooked beneath the teleporter was a crystal, and this crystal appears to be the mechanism by which teleportation occurs. I will hereby call them warp crystals. I've studied this crystal extensively, and if I had to describe it, it's like an object that exists in a higher dimension than our own. If we're in the third dimension, this crystal is in the fourth dimension, or possibly higher. Picture a piece of paper as a 2D world with little 2D inhabitants. Now, fold that paper in half and pierce through it with a pencil. In the 2D world, it would appear to the inhabitants as if two giant circles appeared. But in the 3D world, we know that those two giant circles are caused by the same pencil. The pencil, one 3D object, can pierce through the folded 2D world multiple times. The warp crystal is like that pencil to our world of paper, so to speak. It is a higher dimensional object that has pierced our 3D reality multiple times. That means all warp crystals in our 3D world are really part of the same object in the higher dimension. A stunning consequence of this realization is that everyone who owns a warp crystal owns the same warp crystal. The ancients, in their wisdom, discovered how to use the crystals as a bridge between multiple spots in our reality. In the paper world example, it'd be like if the 2D inhabitants discovered how to travel along the pencil, which now connects two separate points in their paper world. It's quite fascinating! Though I was a bit disappointed to discover that I can't create as many teleporters as I want, we will always be limited by the number of warp crystals we have. Those don't exactly grow on trees. Or do they? Let's go with the next entry. Great news! Based on the ancients' records we've been able to obtain, teleportation is spoken as a common phenomenon. The ancients are almost blasé about it. So my assistants, Vaughn and Lon, had a theory. If teleportation was common, then so too must be warp crystals. If so, where are they? What if the warp crystals we seek were actually hiding in plain sight? They're disguised. I'm reading lines ahead of where I am. We've taken to testing various gemstones, and aha! It turns out that moonstones are actually faded warp crystals. These almost common gemstones, traded by the populace for their beauty, are in fact the crystals I seek. I guess you could liken it to how people treated the first dragon fossils. They simply didn't know what kind of marvel they were holding. The moonstones are faded, however, a result of having aged half a millennia in suboptimal conditions. I have no idea what is actually with the crystals in the fourth or whatever dimension these things really exist in. But in testing, we discovered they are not as effective as the pure, intact warp crystal we excavated from the original teleporter. Luckily, we discovered that if we hook enough moonstones together, we get results similar to a pure warp crystal. So, we're going moonstone hunting! And I really do like this because this is giving you more backstory for Fran and how she was setting up this teleportation network that we are using. Our attempts to obtain moonstones have failed. Most recently, we set up a rewards program where people could turn in moonstones to obtain prizes. For one moonstone, you could have your choice of a date with Lon or Vaughn. For 2 moonstones, you would get an all-you-can-eat dinner at the Blue Lobster. For 3 moonstones, you would get an awesome tailoring voucher. No one cared for the voucher. A couple of people did take the all-you-can-eat option at the Blue Lobster. They were quite enthusiastic eaters too, so we'll be on a tight budget this month. No one took the date option, so my assistants' confidence have been shattered. I told them, so what if no one wants to date you? You're smart! But that seemed to only make them feel worse. And the final entry. Finally, a lead! My plea to the science community, which I sent out weeks prior, has taken root. One of them knows a guy who knows a gal, and in short, we have a moonstone supplier. We've arranged a meeting. It'll take her a couple of weeks, and she's traveling all the way from Darugarn. 2 weeks for traveling. Imagine how much faster it'll be once we got teleporters. In the meanwhile, I finished a grid of teleporters to connect the provinces of Castella. It's just a small network for now, a proof of concept. Should the supplier come through, and I see no reason why she wouldn't, we'll have created a new teleportation network. It'll be the first teleportation network in half a millennia. The impact of this technology is not to be underestimated. We'll have quicker trade routes, quicker medical care, quicker everything. It'll be tough, But after this network, I'd like to work on the first inter-country network. Could this technology be a new pillar towards better relations between countries? I hope so. I've gleaned all I could from the original teleporter, so I put it back the way we had found it, warp crystal included. Oddly, the original teleporter still works, so why doesn't it warp anything? I believe the issue lies on the other end. I'm entertaining the possibility that someone might repair the other end and step through this side one day. I guess that's unlikely. Really, I just want to preserve the original teleporter as it was found. Out of respect, perhaps? There could be a museum here one day. Yep, so as I said, we got ourselves a nice bit of lore that we already knew some of it from talking to Fran earlier, but it's nice to get the full story. Speaking of, hey Fran! With this, the first test network of teleporters is complete. I've sent word to the Peace Ministers that we're ready for an evaluation. Until then, we mustn't get complacent. Any number of things could go wrong. The moonstones could get stolen, or they could burn out, liquefy, explode, or even implode. Take 10 of these moonstones then. Yay! Another set of moonstones! Let's deposit these in my safe right away. Turning the dial, opening it, putting it in, and closing it up. There, safely deposited. Bet you didn't think there'd be a safe there, did you? You've been such a great help, I must formally invite you to join the Fran gang. How do you like to be our official Moonstone Hunter? Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? The only requirement is that you change your name to Gon. Do consider it, which I enjoy. It looks like Gail is actually considering it. But I digress. For your services to science, let me reward you with this. Behold, the Moon Crystal. We made this by crushing and pressing together several expended moonstones. Functionally, it's useless for teleportation, but so beautiful. Yep, and as you may have surmised, that moon crystal is what we need to give to Melia to be able to get over above the cliffs, and I probably said her name wrong. But with this, we're now actually going to head on over to Dea, because we picked up that dream ore, and yeah, we want to make use of it. So we need to head over to the blacksmith, and let's talk to him. Hey, I've got some dream ore for you. This is dream ore. I knew if I hung on to one half, the other would eventually appear before me. Been over 20 years. I had nearly lost hope. How long I've wanted to temper it, to see its sparks and true form. Yes, looking at you, I see what weapon would be most suitable. Wait here, I'll start on it right away. So much pounding, so much tempering. But I think this is the end? Yep. It is done. Finally, my heart can be at peace. May you do great things with it. We obtained the Night Star. This remarkable weapon is forged from dream ore. A living contradiction. The Night Star feels light as a feather in your hands, but hits harder than steel. Truly a dream come true. With the bat equipped, you can attack. Which, let's go ahead and get it equipped. It swings at the same speed, however, so it just does more damage as far as mechanics are concerned. Now, let's also buy this Jade Hauberk, because we need it for one of the achievements of all decked out, acquiring every piece of equipment. A protective mesh of metal rings beneath the fabric ensure a moderate level of defense. And it only reduces by 2, so again, the Geo Jacket we have is better. Wow, I've never seen the master work so intensely. I need to work even harder, or I'll never measure up. Well, also, let's talk to him again. Tempering that dream ore was an experience. I'll not forget it. That weapon is my greatest creation. Do not dishonor it with defeat. Alright, I will do my best to not dishonor it. Next up, we actually need to go talk to the chef. Because if you remember, He was making something for us out of all those ingredients we gave him. Ah, just in time. The ultimate dish is fini. Here, taste la perfection. We received an elixir. Chef Basil's special concoction that fuses together the strength of the arbor, the agility of the knife krill, the translucency of the amberfish, and the flavors of the desert squash. It looks like water. However, it increases our stamina for 90 seconds, our attack for 90 seconds, heals us for 250 HP, and only takes 1.5 seconds to drink. We can only carry one, however. If you want a second one, you need to have consumed it and then give Chef Basil all of those ingredients again. Now, let's head on back to Franz because we need to talk to her assistants, and then we need to make our way over to Pancello to finally see what our reward is for returning all the Pero. Now then, Fran's assistants are down in the basement. First, let's talk to Vaughn. Huh, strange. I think the software's got a few bugs. Have you ever gotten shocked stepping out of a teleporter? Yes, we have. I thought so. But just a few variables. Let me know if it acts up again. Debugging code is, of course, one of my scientific duties. You seem surprised? It looks like there's a conversion error when calculating your mass. The teleporter was using an excessive amount of energy to do the transfer, which would explain the shock. Strangely, Lana and I don't trigger any conversion errors. Are you hoarding a bunch of items by any chance? Haha, you and the Chief are alike. Yep, we are definitely hoarding a ton of items with our 24 pockets. I've now identified 54 of 78 compounds comprising the moonstone sludge that appears during teleportation. Most are nothing to worry about. A few are radioactive, but their quantities are too little to cause harm. Identifying these components is, as you know, one of my scientific duties. Interestingly, despite secreting sludge, the moonstone doesn't appear to lose any volume. It stays the same volumetrically, but its chemical composition does change. You could say it's like a battery. Speaking of batteries, look what I found in our battery storage. Oh, Chief. I'd show you what it is, but your inventory is full. Well, let's fix that. We'll discard this, and we'll eat the bird. Because we want a second inventory slot for something else later. We got some free spicy noodles. Another item that will increase your attack when you use it. Now then, onwards to Pancello and the Pero Coop. Thankfully, it's just a nice hop and a dash away from here. And honestly, the prize that you get is not bad at all. So first things first, let's see what the new message is. It's a full house of Pero. Remember to thank Gail for going out of her way to fill this house again. Let's all do our parts to take care of the Pero and make him as happy as possible. Lisa. Yep. So that confirms we got all the Pero, and now that we do, they will lay 2 golden eggs for us. The golden egg on its own is a healing item, very fast to eat, heals 80 HP, but you can cook it. Now, cooking it is very difficult. I think it is the hardest item to cook in the game. Just to show though, yeah, look how fast this is going. Without this current frying pan, I don't know if it's actually possible to cook these. It might be, but you have to be perfect. But you cook them, and now they're even faster to eat, and they heal 99 hit points. With that, we will be ending things here. Next time, we're unfortunately going to be doing a ton of backtracking, largely because we now have some rocket boots. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and take care.